when you see me, then
we gonna see. Welcome to Raw Vlog number 30. Raw Vlogs are recorded live in front of a steering wheel on my way to getting my Friday morning coffee delivered straight from the camera to you, unedited and raw. If you're more interested in a riding video, you can click up here and check that out. I'll put a link to a playlist of riding videos up there. If you're unfamiliar with the channel, I'm Alan. This is the MTB ALAN channel. New mountain bike oriented content every Monday at 5 p.m. as well as these raw vlogs. In today's raw vlog, after our normal segments, we are going to be talking about age, being too old to ride, or that general sort of concept. This comes from a question from Andy Ginther. Channel news. I don't really have a whole bunch of channel news other than that I'm currently working on my last video for 2019. I'm going through a bunch of my footage and trying to find footage that I haven't really used yet. I've got a bunch of good footage that never made it into edits. So I'm gonna see if I can pull a couple of things out or do some extended cuts. But we'll also do a little bit of retrospective on 2019 because it's been a really good year despite this wrist injury. Yeah, so point of curiosity, what's been kind of spinning around in my head is this concept of overbiking, where it seems like we mountain bikers have become a little bit more willing to have a heavier bike in exchange for more travel on our bikes, a more downhill capable bike, even if it means suffering a little bit more on the uphills. And I do see a lot of industry reviews and well, not industry reviews, but like bike media people a lot of the times talking about not needing that much travel and talking about the benefits of a shorter travel bike, that they're just as capable. You often hear that thing that like it feels like it has more travel than it actually does. And I'm curious what you think about that. I know the capabilities of my bike, I use the capabilities of my bike quite a bit when I'm in form anyway. But if you think about that, if you feel like you see other people who maybe have bikes that have too much travel, what do you think about that concept of overbiking? My point of gratitude today is really, I'm grateful for how much fitness I had going into this injury. Happened back in August, if you don't already know, but I've been training consistently since probably 2012, maybe somewhere in there. And at that time I was really out of shape and got into CrossFit, and it like made me pretty fit, coming into this crash. And I feel like that fitness and that level of training and being used to training really kind of helped me through this process of recovery and a sustained discomfort. So I'm really grateful for that. So let's jump into our subject matter for today. Today we are talking about the concepts, or today we're talking about the effects of being a slightly older mountain biker. I don't like to talk about my age because I don't know why. It's just a weird thing. I have a weird thing about it. But I'm in my mid-40s, if you didn't already know, and I know that a lot of us in this age range may be looking at the risks we're taking in mountain biking a little bit differently than somebody who's maybe 10 years younger. And this is particularly poignant to those of us who started mountain biking, maybe in our 40s or late 30s. So it's poignant to me, I should say, because I don't really know what it's like to be in my mid-40s mountain biking with 10 to 15 to 20 years of experience on on bikes on dirt. So talking to that, you know, I always am preaching fitness, and I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but I think a big factor going into something like mountain biking when you're a bit older is how much fitness are you walking in with, and that's really going to affect how you're going to approach a risk-heavy activity like mountain biking. And this is also maybe a message to those of you who are watching this who are maybe a bit younger. Maybe you're in your 20s or your 30s. Having general fitness, functional fitness is one of the, investing in your functional fitness is one of the best investments you can make in your life, aside from retirement, I guess. But and that is because it's, you know, like, to be able to mountain bike at a later age requires you to have physical fitness. It requires you to be able to move, but also, you know, the ability to hike, the ability to carry your bike, the ability to do trail work, and then later in life, the ability to, like, move around, get up and down stairs, get in and out of a seat. All these things are they're not just going to be there if when you're older, if you don't work on things now, if you don't invest in that fitness now. So you know, this is me coming from the background of having invested in my functional fitness from the, you know, from the age of my mid-30s or so, and seeing the benefits of that just across the board, because it's allowed me to be more capable at this age than a lot of other people that I see my age. It allows me to go into mountain biking with the kind of youthful attitude of somebody maybe 10 years younger than me. So I know I'm not fully addressing the, wow, it's really, sorry, I'm getting really distracted because it dumped a bunch of snow last night and it's gorgeous right now, and it's like really clear out. And I don't know, you probably can't see it in the camera, but like all the mountains are super capped with snow. But yeah, so I think the way that age affects attitude when you're mountain biking, I think the short answer is it's self-regulating. I think as you get older, your willingness to take physical risks probably decreases a bit, and I think also you have more reasons to not do that. It depends on what you do for work, and how getting injured will affect your ability to make an income. For me, I work in an office, so my job is not terribly physical. When I lost the ability to use my right hand, I was still able to work. I mean, my productivity dropped, you know, by like 25% or something like that, but I was still able to go into the office and do work, and I have really good insurance. That's an interesting aspect, actually, of being, you know, a little bit older, because a little bit older as a mountain biker, because you're also likely to have a pretty decent income by that age, or at least, you know, for a lot of us, we, you know, are in a career, you know, by that time. I started my career pretty late. A lot of you were probably in your careers by the time you were in your 30s. But anyway, point being, in your 40s, you're probably making a decent amount of money and able to purchase nicer bikes, unless you're tied up with like raising your kids and stuff. I don't know. I'm not even going to talk about the money, because I'm also kind of in a weird situation there, because our daughter is already in college, and while that's costing a lot of money, it's not the same as, you know, having a kid in the house and the kind of time and energy that takes up. But yeah, I guess what I'm realizing by talking about this is I'm probably not a very good example of somebody in their 40s going into mountain biking, because I think I kind of operate more like I'm 10 years younger than I am, and approach things like that. And also I think I've have been physically training for a while before coming into mountain biking, so it was easy for me to approach the physicality of mountain biking with a decent amount of capability. So I think, but let me really kind of talk to you if you're maybe more of an average person in your 40s. You still can work on your fitness, and I know, Andy, you kind of wanted to hear more about, or it seemed your questions seemed to say that you wanted to hear more about how aging affects your attitude. But I'm going to come at this like, how can you maintain a more youthful attitude while mountain biking? And I think it's really worth it. I'm going to say it. It's worth it to invest in your fitness. You can increase your fitness at any age. Well, at most ages. At a certain point, maybe I would say in your 60s or 70s, you're mostly going to be maintaining your fitness unless you can go really hard. And I'm gonna have you talk to your doctor about that if you're in that age group. But as a CrossFit trainer, I have seen people coming, retiring from their jobs. They're in retirement age, and they're able to actually increase their fitness and just have a generally better life. And how that applies to mountain biking is, whatever age you're at, invest in your fitness, because it's going to give you more ability to do these things. It's going to help just obviously on being on the bike, on having more core stability while you're moving on the bike, allow you to stay on the bike longer, get more laps in. It's also going to mean better resiliency when you hit the dirt, whether that's just on the trail, and more muscle mass and more mobility is going to make you better at just taking that impact. It might also mean that if you do get injured, having more muscle mass is going to help you deal with that injury better. You can look that up if you want in terms of being prepared for injury. Having muscle mass is one of the best things you can do to prepare for injury. And I don't want to go too much into that because I only understand it a little bit, and I don't want to talk beyond what I know. So if that's you, if you're a little bit older and you're like starting to rethink your risks with mountain biking, obviously I'm not going to tell you to do anything different than what you feel is right. But if you're willing to spend some time increasing your level of fitness, then I think that's really going to help a lot of that. And let me define fitness real quick. How CrossFit defines fitness is your work capacity across broad time and modal domains. Let me break that down. We're going to go a little bit long. I don't care. So that means work capacity, and that's the ability to move weight. So that's the physics definition of work. You can look that up, what work means in physics. So moving weight across broad time and modal domains. Time domain being broad time domains being short or really long, so being able to move weight very quickly or for a long period of time, like on a long climb, or very quickly, like punching over a rock or something like that. Broad modal domains means all kinds of different movements. That might mean running for a really long period. That might mean doing pull-ups, or basically lifting your body weight over stuff. That might be lifting heavy weights slowly. That might mean throwing heavy weights, all those kind of things. So basically having a broad spectrum of capabilities to do work, and that's the CrossFit definition of fitness. It's actually the only real measurable, observable, repeatable definition of fitness. So that's what I mean by fitness. And if you look at that across your life, including mountain biking, you can see ideally you can see how that can apply. So that's going to make it so that when you do those long downhills, you're able to do them, you can do them for a longer period of time. You can maybe do full pulls on big long DH runs, but you're also going to be safer coming down, because when you're, you know, in that second half of the run, you are you're stronger, you're not tired, because, you know, that's a lot of the times when those injuries happens, is when you're tired. Or if you're doing a long pedal and you have that modality of being able to just grind out miles up, you know, multiple, you know, thousands of feet, that's going to help you there, as well as doing hike-a-bikes and having different modalities. And then in your general life, you know, helping your buddy move a couch up a set of stairs, or running away from zombies, or anything like that. And then as you get like later in life, just the ability to get up and move around, they say that is one of the hugest factors in an elderly person's level of happiness, is literally just the ability to get up and move around. And I want to be one of those people who is, you know, 80 or 90 years old and is going and helping other people who are 60 and 70 years old. That's the kind of person I want to be. And obviously still out on the bike. So hopefully this is applied to you. I know we've talked about being old, and that's not always the most popular subject, but hopefully it's helped you out. These are the ways I look at things. So if you dug this video, hit that like button. If you really want to support the channel in a really direct way, check out the applaud button near the thumbs up and thumbs down buttons. And if you're not already part of the crew and want to continue getting mountain bike oriented content from the MTB ALAN channel, hit that subscribe button. See you guys. See you on Monday. Happy New Year.